Welcome to The Deep Dive, your weekly cultural journey into the new world of tokenized art. Artists, people, businessmen, politics. It's the place to be.
Virtual reality.
Non-fungible token.
I'm going to Disney World!
Metaverse. NFT.
Who, how, when, why? We'll tell you everything in The Deep Dive. And this week, we're going to talk about the gifted prodigy of crypto art, the Mozart of NFT, Fewocious.
My artist name is Fewocious. I make NFTs.
So, Fewocious, or Fewo to the friends and community of this American artist, painter, sculptor, video artist, designer, digital artist living in Seattle, Washington.
I don't know, it's just me.
At only 18, Fewocious is currently third on the NFT list of top-selling crypto artists. But despite his talent, behind this young creator's success are trauma and deep wounds. To understand the Fewocious phenomenon and how it goes beyond the simple framework of crypto art, we have to look at the background, personality, and extraordinary history of this amazing artist. So, Fewocious, whose real name is Victor Langlis, was born on January 1st, 2003. He grew up in Las Vegas with his grandmother after he was removed from his abusive parents' custody.
I'm in a courtroom
full
of people, and the judge is asking me if certain things are true.
Victor had a very difficult childhood. He was isolated, he had no friends, and was bullied by a family that did not understand his artistic desires or identity. Although at the time he couldn't yet put it into words, he knew that he was not the person that others expected him to be. At the time, in the eyes of those around him, he was Victoria.
I hated that, and I never felt right. I hated wearing dresses. I hated that I couldn't cut my hair.
Unable to express himself in his strict and conservative family, Victor's teenage years were profoundly painful. Without a role model or friends with whom he could share his pain and frustration, he fell into depression.
I was in therapy, and my family took me out of therapy because they told me depression is not real.
With only art as a sanctuary, he poured all his darkness into sketching, painting, and drawing. On paper, in a notebook, on canvas, but mostly on his iPad, where his grandmother couldn't tear up his work.
My grandma would come up to me and be like, "That's ugly. I hate that."
He so perfected a style, his style, and published his first works on Instagram, signed Victoria L.
That's so crazy. Victoria, oh my God, this is so cool. I designed this.
The colors are bright and joyful, but the gloom and sadness behind his work are clear. Victor laid out his distress in the only way he could, through art.
It became part of me. It became my safety blanket. It became my heart.
He nurtured a secret ambition to become a celebrated artist, and he would do whatever it took to get there.
I'm gonna keep doing art till I die.
And here it says, keep pushing, but it also says be patient.
I'm gonna make it happen. I don't care about anything. I care that I'm gonna make it happen, and I will make it happen.
At 15, he published his first work under the name Fewocious. It was a piece of music called Sad Queen, and he kept on posting on Instagram.
Happy in a palace, crown on her head, silly little girl, never rush ahead.
A true child of the digital age, Victor kept pushing himself to grow. His online research expanded his understanding, and far, very far from his family's values, he eventually came across the notion of trans identity. It liberated him and allowed his identity to shine.
So I'm trans, I'm transgender.
It was a real revelation for him. He'd finally found himself, but it wasn't yet time to come out, and Victor, who was still called Victoria at this point, had to keep the truth secret, as his grandparents wouldn't understand.
I was an actor, acting for my family.
He then launched his website
Fewocious.com,
where he sold his work for prices ranging from $5 to $20.
It's a pretty good deal.
At this point, his creations were signed Victoria L, with the L crossing the I and the A, leaving only the name Victor visible, a first step in the affirmation of his identity.
I'm a mysterious artist.
Little by little, the pseudonym Fewocious replaced Victor's signature, and he continued to create, frantically and tirelessly, across all media, physical and digital, displaying his characteristic style, all while still going to class.
In school, I had the best grades, I had best student, My teachers love me.
Then, in March 2020, someone bought a painting for a record $90 and sent him an email with a little advice that would change his life: to sell his works as NFTs.
Well, immediately I thought it was a scam. So I thought, is he trying to steal the IP? Is he gonna buy like my characters and go make a TV show or sell shirts? I don't know.
In spite of his reluctance, Fewocious gave it a go and minted his first works. He received a first offer just a few days later. His first NFT, I Still Think About You, was sold for $1,500. A few minutes later, 2 other works were sold for another $2,000.
Can't believe this happened!
$3,500 in only a few minutes. A good day at the office, especially when you're used to selling paintings for $20.
The day after I sold my first NFT, it gave me that confidence, and ever since then it's just kept growing.
But there were still more surprises in store for Fewocious, and a few days later he sold another work on Super Rare for $15,000.
Oh my god.
In just a few days, the NFT community, which in 2020 was still pretty new to most people, went wild, and Fewocious quickly became one of the most sought after crypto artists.
And everyone saw that and was like, whoa, who is this kid selling all this art right now?
From there, everything went extremely fast. His work was snatched up by NFT collectors, and his enormous catalogue meant that there was something for everyone. But there was a problem. He was only 17 and had to wait until he was 18 before getting his money, which took 8 long months.
Almost like majority of the money I have is in ETH.
But Fewocious took advantage of this time to create over and over. That's how the collaboration with 2 Feet Music on the Nifty Gateway platform was born. It generated $1.1 million. And the collaboration with the virtual sneaker studio Artifact, which raised more than $3 million in only 7 minutes.
I lost my mind!
But most importantly, Fewocious decided to be publicly gendered as a man and took the name Victor.
This trans boy from Las Vegas that was stuck in a home where no one heard him actually has a voice and can speak to other trans kids.
Finally, the long-awaited day of his 18th birthday arrived, and Victor was able to leave his family home and all the pain it represented and move to Seattle, where he found a new life as a free, independent young man.
And that makes me excited.
In June 2021, Fewocious auctioned a collection of 5 works on Christie's website in the form of NFTs. Hello, I'm Victor Fewocious, and this is my life. Each of the works represents a year of his life, from his depression to his deliverance, through the most turbulent phases of the duality of his identity.
I put my everything into this, and I was so nervous to come out and to tell everyone who I am. So thank you for believing in me.
Hello, I'm Victor and this is my life is Fewocious' masterpiece artistically, but also symbolically. With this drop, Fewocious became the youngest artist to be auctioned at Christie's.
It's 1 hour into the Fewocious Christie's auction begins to close. I'm so freaking excited, I can't even speak.
But also the first to crash its website because of the crazy amount of demand.
Crazy.
Since then, Fewocious has been working on a series of projects, like the Mr. Misunderstood sculpture, which has been so successful that the total of all his NFT sales now top $20 million.
I can't believe this is happening.
In addition to his precociousness, what makes Fewocious an extraordinary artist is his unique worldview and his immediately recognizable style. Both are rooted in his experiences during his upbringing.
Adversity has made me who I am.
In just a few months, Fewocious has become the emblem of a crypto-queer culture and a symbol of a transgender youth that's proudly expressing itself. He's an example of how resilience and self-sacrifice can make dreams come true. Fewocious left nothing to chance.
Hey little bug, I'm gonna be a successful artist. What do you think? I can do it. I believe in myself.
Well, the deep dive's over for now. See you next week for a new dive into the tokenized world.